Honey, honey. Honey, honey, nearly kills me.
Spiny, why are we watching this?
Ogorki and I get high and watch Mamma Mia every Saturday.
Why?
Just go with it. We won't make eye contact with each other for like 20 minutes, but then you'll get sucked into it.
To film, w którym wszystko kończy się najlepszym scenariuszem. To miły kontrast z prawdziwym życiem.
Yeah, exactly.
Spiny, I don't know what he said.
Do you guys watch Mamma Mia, Here I Go Again every Sunday?
No, we switch the two out every once in a while, you stupid jackass.
You guys want to hit my big-ass bug?
Matt, it's not that funny anymore. He's been in the public domain for a while now.
I know, man, but I think he's actually better off here. At least we're not making a shitty slasher movie with him.
I fucking love unions!
We know, Willie. Anyways, Ogorki and I actually have a different method.
Ugh, I'll stick to the bong.
Alright, suit yourself.
Announced that he's engaged, so he's gone home to get married, and I'm never gonna see him again.
You know what Sonic game I have
August 4th.
almost nothing to say about?
Nie rozmawiajcie przy filmie Spiny.
Sonic Chaos, or Sonic and Tails if you played the game in Sonic's home country, was released in 1993 as another epic Game Gear title. I talked about Triple Trouble a while back, and that game sort of is a sequel to Sonic Chaos. I mean, they're both unique games on the Game Gear that use the same sprites and have a lot of the same abilities and power-ups as Triple Trouble. Granted, with Triple Trouble, I felt like it had more fleshed out levels to talk about, it introduced Fang, it had an entire remake of it completed. Triple Trouble gave me a bit more to work with in terms of talking about blue rodents. Sonic Chaos offers a lot less blue rodent discourse because honestly, the game is fine, but it's really simple. Nearly every level can be beaten in 30 seconds to a minute. None of them are really painful to get through, unlike some of the Triple Trouble stages, but none of them give you that much to chew on either. You kind of just jump and sprint through these levels, maybe occasionally you'll get thrown off by part of it, but then you'll just get it easily on your next go.
Bullshit, Spiny, I was there. You fucked up a lot.
Mamma Mia, here I go again. My, how can I resist ya? Mamma Mia, does it show again? My, just how much I missed ya.
Okay, yeah, but I'm me. Don't judge a game's difficulty on how many times I fuck up. Judge a game's difficulty based on how long it takes me to complete it, which was not very long at all. God damn, that pickle's really starting to kick in. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah. At this point in the movie, Sophie has successfully hidden her 3 dads in the closet, but her mom catches on a lot quicker than I think anyone expected her to. Myself included. I'm kind of glad they got this out of the way quickly. And you know what? She still doesn't have all the details about why they're here, so they still get to have fun with the misunderstanding arc. I know I sound sarcastic saying that, but honestly this movie gets away with it reasonably well. This movie does not take itself all that seriously. You kinda have an idea of where this movie's going the entire time, but you don't mind because you get the point of it is to show off this fantasy island and this fantasy scenario that you can just imagine yourself in for a while. But then I'd argue the movie still manages to throw you off by the end of it. Sophie wrote out to 3 different men, hoping to find out who her father is. Not only did all 3 of them show up after receiving this letter, but they all wanted to be her dad by the end of it. I only have one dad and he wants nothing to do with me. Oh, he's also dead. Forgot about that part. Shit. Anyways, not long after this, we make it to the Dancing Queen scene. Yo, Ogorki, do you think this island would shun you if you, like, lived there, but didn't ever join in on the spontaneous ABBA sing-alongs? Like, full island participation is mandatory, but what if there was, like, going too far as well? Like, what if you were trying to be the lead vocalist despite not being a main character? Might get fucking prison time for that one. Wait, what was I talking about again? Oh, right. There are some interesting details about this game. For starters, it was the first of the series that allowed you to play as just Tails, and therefore it was the first game where you could control Tails in a boss fight. You know, where you actually did damage. Yeah, if you plugged in the second controller while playing Sonic 2, player 2 could control Tails. I think most people know about that by now. But if he jumped on an enemy or one of the bosses, it wouldn't really do shit. Tails was really the character you let your little brother play as while you made the real progress. Unfortunately, I was the little brother. But hey, life is really like Sonic Chaos. One day you grow enough to where you don't need your older brother anymore. or your dad, or your mom, or your cousins, or your...
Kolczasty, nie idź tam będąc na haju.
I'm fucking sad, Ogorki. It's also one of the few games in the series that actually tells you how many kilometers per hour you traveled by the end of the stage. Not even Triple Trouble had that as a feature. Hell, according to the Sonic Wiki, Sonic Labyrinth and Sonic Unleashed were the only two games in the series that decided to implement this feature. Which is kinda weird. It feels like there's maybe one person at Sonic Team that wants this as a feature, but everyone else thinks it's dumb. But then they occasionally sneak it into the most random games. Like Unleashed, I guess makes sense for the daytime stages, but why is that feature in Labyrinth? I accept that as a feature in Sonic Labyrinth if it's a feature in every game. Why is Labyrinth one of the only games that it's used in? You can't even say it was to be consistent with the other Game Gear titles because again, Chaos is the only other game that ever utilized this. God, this is too confusing for me. I need to focus on something less confusing. What the fuck is going on here?
I thought you said you watched this every week.
Yeah, and yet I'm never ready for this scene.
Alright, I'll take a pickle.
I will say one thing that did kind of confuse me about Mamma Mia were some of the characters this film didn't focus on too much. Like Sophie's love interest Sky was so one-dimensional and kind of mean at points that I kind of expected he was going to be revealed as no good at some point, and then Sophie would be independent or hook up with a different guy in the sequel. But no, they seem pretty okay by the end. I get it, I keep repeating this, but this movie doesn't really want to challenge anyone. It just wants you to have fun, and sometimes a marriage falling apart isn't fun. Sometimes. Meryl Streep's cover of The Winner Takes It All sounds pretty nice in this movie, but it doesn't even come close to Chuck McGill's rendition of this iconic ABBA bop. Now, this movie did come out a decent bit before that Better Call Saul episode, so I can't hold it against them too much. It's not like they were aware they'd have to compete with Chuck someday, so it's not like I'm going to give the movie a 1 out of 10, but I will say at this point a 5 is the best it can possibly do. Anyway, Sonic Chaos doesn't have the longest stages or the most interesting bosses, but it's not really bad either. Like, none of it's bad, it's all fine. Like, for a quick little Game Gear title, sure, I could see people having fun with this back then, and now it exclusively sees releases on collection packs. It's not like you're not getting what you paid for. Sonic Chaos isn't worth much, but Sonic Chaos plus every Game Gear game and the 4 classic Sonic titles, that isn't too bad. Granted, I wish some of these collection packs would have the balls to go beyond the Game Gear. You know, bring Knuckles Chaotix in, or even bring in some of the old arcade games like Gems Collection did. But who knows, sometimes Sonic Team gives me exactly what I'm asking for, so I have to be a little bit more faithful to them nowadays. I guess none of that's really on the original Sonic Chaos though, which is what I'm here to talk about. I mean, you could probably beat this game before the Game Gear battery dies, that's a perk. Bosses are mainly simple badniks, but bigger. The final boss is one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen from the series. It's just Robotnik in his default ship, but now it has these shitty, unthreatening legs. 3 of the levels in this game feel pretty similar to stages we got in Triple Trouble, so I guess you could say these are the prototype versions of certain stages in Triple Trouble. Turquoise Hill Zone is similar to the Great Turquoise Zone. Aqua Planet Zone is similar to Tidal Plant Zone, although I will say significantly less frustrating than Tidal Plant Zone. Still, maybe a little too easy for a second to last stage. There's a balance in between these two zones that could probably be pretty good. Electric Egg Zone is similar to Atomic Destroyer Zone, again less frustrating than Atomic Destroyer Zone, although I'm not sure if I would say it's by a lot this time. This one might actually be the balance the stage needed. I guess either way I'm not wowed by it. Gigapolis Zone I really like the backgrounds for, I think the stage has a pretty nice aesthetic to it overall. Sleeping Egg Zone is a great concept with pretty underwhelming mechanics, I'd argue. I feel like if Chaos ever got the fan remake treatment, this would be a great standout level for it. I can't think of a lot of Sonic games that try to go for this weird dream looking environment. It's a really neat idea, but I think the level needs a little bit more than that. Some of the ground breaks when you interact with it, and some of it doesn't. That's about all you get with this one. Finally, there's Mecha Green Hill Zone, which to me really proves that constantly reusing Green Hill Zone isn't really a new thing. I'd argue that Turquoise Hill Zone is kind of like Green Hill Zone already for this game, but you know what, they did change a decent bit here. It feels like a Green Hill Zone that Robotnik has already conquered. It's not bad. It's actually a better attempt than whatever the fuck Forces did with all the sand. Not bad, but not special. I think Triple Trouble is a better game despite having some truly frustrating moments, because it at least feels like a more completed game with more going on. But this game did set up a lot for Triple Trouble, so I guess it deserves credit for that too. And that's what I think of Mamma Mia, I mean, Sonic Chaos. Both of them, I don't know. How about you guys?
Yeah, it's fine. 6 out of 10. Meryl Streep was hot. Ogorki, give me another one of those dumpster pickles. That shit's kinda hitting. Mick, you gotta try these.
Wow, that is pretty good.
Oh god, it's really hidden now.
Dlaczego, do cholery, ciągle to sobie robimy?
Oh. So, one was probably enough, huh?
This seems bad, huh?
Mamma mia, here I go again. My, how can I resist ya? Mamma mia, does it show again?